the people of America increasingly are showing that they want this leadership. Let me show you another clip. Donald Trump there speaking moments ago. He's saying, listen, forget, ladies and gentlemen, forget Bidenomics. We need more Maganomics. Take a peek.
What they did in 2020 is disgraceful. And look what happened. Look what happened to our country. You have wars that never would have taken place. Russia would have never attacked Ukraine. Israel would have never been attacked. You wouldn't have had inflation. It was all caused by the energy. But by contrast, under my leadership, the stock market was up by an astounding 62%, with inflation almost at zero, 62%. With your vote, we will vanquish Bidenomics, which is a very negative term. You know, he heard the term, he loved it. Oh, that's good. No, that's a really bad term. It didn't work. And we will reinstate Maganomics. That's right. Maganomics. You guessed it.
Donald Trump giving a plug there for Maganomics. Obviously very, very different than Bidenomics. Very focused on growing the economy here in the United States of America through better tax policy, through better trade policy, through better foreign policy. Look, America wants that. America needs that. And that's why every single poll you look at, you start to see these massive margins. I mean, look at Biden versus Trump on the economy, for example. You're looking at some 20-point spread difference there. I mean, everybody's saying it. Yeah, you know what? The economy's not great. And people on The View and over at MSNBC and even CNBC, where I used to work, they're like, oh, well, we don't understand. Like, how could people feel like this? You want to know why they feel like that? Because eggs cost so much more. Because milk costs so much more. Because inflation is real. And when you talk about wages, as the New York Times likes to write about and say how much higher they are, you can't do so without looking at what's called real wages. Thank you very much. Real wages are adjusted for inflation. And when you adjust for inflation, you land in a really bad spot under Bidenomics. Bidenomics, which wants to help everybody, it seems, except the American people that are here themselves. I mean, that's why this border thing is becoming such a massive, colossal mess. It's like, how could anybody screw up this much? How could anybody screw up this much? Maybe they're just that dumb, in all seriousness. I mean, they're either really dumb or they're just really, I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. They really don't care about America. I will say this. John McCain, I know not everybody loves John McCain, but he had his strengths too. And he, 10 years ago, in 2014, he warned of Blinken, who's now our Secretary of State. He wouldn't even vote for him to be Deputy Secretary of State under Barack Obama because he said, you know what? The guy's a disaster. I want to play this for you because it's 10 years ago and it's eerie because it's all come true. Watch. John McCain speaking on the floor of the U.S. Senate building.
Madam President, I rise to discuss my opposition to the pending vote concerning Mr. Tony Blinken, who is not only unqualified, but in fact, in my view, one of the worst selections of a very bad lot that this president has chosen. I hope that many of my colleagues will understand that not often do I come to the floor to oppose a nomination of the President of the United States because I believe that elections have consequences. In this case, this individual has actually been dangerous to America and to the young men and women who are fighting and serving it. Let's just review some of the elements in particular and Mr. Blinken's role in conceptualizing and furthering it. U.S. foreign policy is in a shambles. It's at best a strategic and at worst anti-strategic. I'll move on to Afghanistan. Mr. Blinken said, quote, "We've been very clear. We've been consistent. The war will be concluded by the end of 2014. We have a timetable, and that timetable will not change." This is why I'm so worried about him being in the position that he's in. Because if they stick to that timetable, I am telling my colleagues that we will see the replay of Iraq all over again. We must leave a stabilizing force behind of a few thousand troops, or we will see again what we
This is
saw
in 2014.
Iraq. So let's move on to Syria.
Okay, so he laid it all out. He's like, this guy who wants to be our Deputy Secretary of State, he's no good. He's so fixated on getting out of Afghanistan that we're going to have a whole host of other problems. What do you think we have, ladies and gentlemen? A whole host of other problems. And so Donald Trump is right to point to the disaster after disaster after disaster. It's like, how could you guys have planned it like this?